In the last few sections, we have learned a lot about how to create and change layouts. A lot of the historic ways of creating layouts involved using tables or floats. We have already talked about the limitations of these methods and why they are not ideal for laying out pages. In this section, we're going to be looking at both the Flexbox and grid. These modern layout methods make laying out web pages so much easier. We're going to begin with the CSS Flexbox. Flexbox was designed to be used for one-dimensional layout, meaning it deals with one axis at a time, either a row or a column, just like you can see here. Not only does Flexbox control the direction, but it also allows us to set the alignment too. Like we have here, we can align an item or a group of items to the left or right, or even to the top or bottom. Flexbox also allows us to control the size of the individual items too. Here on the top row, we have two boxes taking up one part, and then an item taking up two parts. Then for the second row, we have two items, one item taking up 3 times the size of the other. These are also flexible too, meaning if there is more or even less space available, these 3 parts will always be in proportion to the one part. Another great feature of Flexbox is the ability to control the order in which the items appear on the page. Traditionally, elements appear in the order we place them in the HTML file. Flexbox allows us to control this source order. This can be particularly useful when switching elements around for different layouts. We could have certain elements in one order for larger screens, and then a completely different order for smaller screens. Before we jump into building something with Flexbox, there is one important concept to first understand, and this is the main and cross axis. We define the main axis by setting the flex direction. Row is the default, and this places the items in a left to right row on a standard left to right browser. As we can see on the right, row reverse is the opposite, and this appears from right to left. Then we have column, which is the top to bottom, and then also column reverse, which is the opposite of bottom to top. When we set this flex direction, this will be considered the main axis. Then the cross axis runs perpendicular to the main axis. So if we had flex direction set to row, column will be the cross axis. Also, if we set the flex direction to column, then row would then become the cross axis. So if this is a little bit difficult to understand right now, just remember that the main axis is the direction we set, and then the cross axis is the opposite. So this is a basic overview of how the Flexbox works. In the next video, we will set it up in our text editor and see it in action.